Welcome, fellow adventurers, to a realm shrouded in mystery. Get ready to dive deep into the depths of myth and legend, as we unravel the captivating tale of Mary Celeste ghost ship. Introduction. The Mary Celeste is one of the most famous ghost ships in history. The mystery surrounding the Mary Celeste has fascinated people for over a century. Various theories have been proposed to explain the disappearance of the crew, ranging from piracy and mutiny to natural disasters, such as a waterspout or a sudden release of fumes from the cargo. However, none of these theories have been conclusively proven. Discovery. The fate of the 10 people aboard remains a mystery. The ship was built in 1861 at Spencer's Island, Nova Scotia, Canada, and named the Amazon. The Mary Celeste vendor brigantine was initially named Amazon. In 1868 the boat was bought and renamed the Mary Celeste. Prior to the buy and rename of the Amazon, the boat was referred to others as a reviled transport subsequent to persevering through the passing of a skipper and the sinking of one more boat from influence. It was likewise steered into the rocks in a tempest which speedily prompted the forsaking of the Amazon transport. The wreck of the Amazon was purchased multiple times and at last was auctioned off to a gathering drove by James Winchester and Benjamin Spooner Briggs. These two men fixed the boat, added essential options and changed the boat's name from Amazon to Mary Celeste. Commander Briggs and the team. Chief Briggs was brought into the world in Massachusetts in 1835. His dad was an ocean commander and of his 5 children virtually completely went to the ocean, with 2 becoming ocean chiefs. Benjamin wedded his cousin Sarah Cobb and partook in a Mediterranean vacation. Benjamin Briggs, who was before long held in elevated status in his calling, became fatigued of marine and chosen, in 1872, to put his reserve funds in the portion of a boat, Mary Celeste. He chose to assume control over her for the main journey. He, right off the bat, administered a broad refit in New York with the goal to make a trip to Genoa in Italy. With his broad cruising experience, he knew to pick his group for the journey with care. The principal mate Albert G. Richardson had cruised with him already. The second mate Andrew Gilling was brought into the world in New York. The 4 general sailors were all German. The siblings Volkert and Bos Lorenzen, Arian Martins, and Gottlieb Gaudskal were from the Frisian Islands. Getting ready to sail, on October 20th, 1872, Briggs showed up at Wharf 50 on the East Waterway in New York City to oversee the stacking of the boat's freight of 1,701 barrels of denatured liquor. This liquor is an ethanol that has added substances to make it harmful, awful tasting, putrid, or sickening to beat its utilization by the team down. His better half and child came on board on Sunday and Briggs kept in touch with his mom saying the vessel was in gorgeous trim and I genuinely want to believe that we will have a fine entry. Following some awful climate, the boat at long last headed out on November 7, 1872. While Mary Celeste arranged to cruise, the Canadian brigantine Dei Grazia lay close by in Hoboken, New Jersey. It was anticipating a freight of oil that was made a beeline for Genoa, voyaging by means of Gibraltar. Skipper David Morehouse and first mate were exceptionally capable sailors. Commander Briggs and Morehouse were logical dear companions as they shared normal interests. It is thought they feasted together the night preceding heading out. The Dei Grazia set forth on November 15, 8 days after Mary Celeste, and followed a similar general course. The first journey, the Mary Celestes traversed the Atlantic Sea to arrive at the objective of Genoa, Italy. The boat experienced extraordinary climate for a long time before arriving at the Azores was normal. The Mary Celeste was supposed to arrive at the Azores several days prior as per the boat's chronometer. Be that as it may, the boat presently couldn't seem to see land. In the wake of seeing nothing for a really long time, Chief Benjamin S. Briggs wrote in the logbook on November 25 that they had at long last seen land. The logbook announced that they were roughly 6 miles from St. Nick Maria Island, which is essential for the Azores Islands. Deserted boat. After 9 days, on the 4th December, the Dei Grazia transport captained by David Morehouse saw that a boat with just 3 sails set was floating away from the Azores Islands. Skipper David Morehouse understood the boat somewhere far off was the Mary Celeste and started to be concerned. The first and second mates were sent by the skipper to mind Mary Celeste and the team individuals. At the point when they got on board, they found the boat abandoned. The sails were inadequately set and in a terrible condition. The apparatus was harmed and the ropes looming over the side. The front and lazarette hatches were open and the boat's primary raft was absent. The binnacle lodging the boat's compass was moved and the glass cover broken. There was around 1.1 m of water in the hold, and the gadget for estimating the profundity of this water was deserted at hand. They tracked down the boat's everyday sign in the mate's lodge, and its last passage was dated at 8 a.m. on November 25th, 9 days sooner. It recorded Mary Celeste's position then, at that point, as off St. Nick Maria Island in the Azores. The lodge insides were wet and individual papers from Briggs were dissipated in his lodge. Missing were his navigational instruments and the boat's papers. Kitchen hardware was conveniently hid away. There was no food arranged or under readiness, yet there were more than adequate arrangements in the stores. There were no conspicuous indications of fire or viciousness. After investigation, these men understood that there was no indication of the skipper, group, individuals, or family on the Mary Celeste in any case. The most strange finding was that nothing was awkward on the boat. The boat was sailable and contained the logbook, food, water, liquor, garments, Sophia's toys, and an engraving on the bed from Sophia, all with no indication of misery. Under sea regulation, anybody rescuing a boat could anticipate a significant portion of the joined worth of the safeguarded vessel and freight. Morehouses chose to part the team between the two ships and continue to Gibraltar. It was painfully slow, and the two boats were in port by December 12, 1872. The investigation, the Gibraltar hearings, started on December 17, 1872 and went on until Walk 1873. Edward Joseph Baumgartner was the recorder of the office of the Chief Naval Officer Court, and Frederick Solly Flood was the head legal officer for Gibraltar. The appointed authority was James Cochrane, and the legal counselor addressing De Grazia was Henry Peter Pisani. Solly Flood requested a review of the Mary Celeste, which was completed by Transportation Overseer John Austin and Jumper Ricardo Porcinato. Solly Flood was sure there had been a wrongdoing on board the Mary Celeste. He was searching for guiltiness to make sense of what had occurred. A saber cut was found on the deck, as well as what Solly Flood guaranteed were hints of blood, albeit this ended up being false. Different situations were explored, for example, harm to gather protection and, surprisingly, a catastrophic event. By the by, the legal dispute finished with practically no unmistakable assurance of what had occurred. What happened with the Mary Celeste? Hypotheses throughout the years have gone from rebellion and privateer assault to attack by Goliath octopus or ocean beast, while the more logically disapproved of proposed a blast brought about by exhaust from the 1,700 barrels of unrefined liquor in the boat's opening. For 5 speculations of what befell Mary Celeste, this article is both interesting and whimsical, however worth a read. For a point of view from the time span, it's great to take a gander at how the occurrence was being accounted for. The Boston Post of February 1873 contends that the team have been killed by privateers. This end is reached due to how much blood found ready. The way that there had all the earmarks of being articles annihilated and missing, and the ideas that privateers were dynamic nearby. Conclusion: the Mary Celeste is one of the later authors to endeavor to investigate this secret. The article is a great perused. In outline, it is believed that the Mary Celeste was further west than the chief knew, in light of a broken chronometer. He had been hoping to see land 3 days sooner. The skipper might have not been completely mindful of exactly how much water was flat broke. So with rising water, extraordinary climate, not seeing area when he expected as well, perhaps he required the boat to be deserted. Maybe we won't ever know precisely very thing happened. The Mary Celeste became a symbol of maritime mysteries and has inspired numerous books, films, and theories attempting to unravel the truth behind its abandonment. Despite extensive investigations and speculation, the fate of the crew remains unknown, and the Mary Celeste continues to capture the imagination of people around the world as one of the greatest unsolved maritime mysteries.